Hey folks, so today I thought I'd show you how to make molasses sugar cookies. Don't worry, I did actually post real work online. This is just something silly because it's April 1st and I don't get to do something silly in person. So this is a recipe I've made many times. I don't have it memorized, so I'm going to be reading off my paper copy and I'm going to post the text for the copy on the YouTube description underneath the video. So I usually use my largest mixing bowl. And I really like to use bamboo spoons because they don't conduct heat, and then they mix things well. They don't bend like some of the plastic ones will.
Before I forget, set the oven to preheat to 360 degrees. Nailed it.
So step one, wash your hands. I washed my hands before starting this video, so I'm not going to show you washing my hands. There's enough videos online about washing your hands at this point, so I'm going to get into the actual recipe. So step one, we're going to melt the shortening and let it cool and put it to the side. The thing that I'll do next though, because it does need a bit of time to cool, is I mix my dry ingredients.
Half a teaspoon salt, 2 teaspoons baking soda, half a teaspoon ginger, half a teaspoon cloves, and 1 full teaspoon cinnamon. Also 1 cup of sugar and 2 cups of flour.
Now what my mother told me to do is she would always get a rounded scoop rather than just flattening out the scoop. Makes the cookies extra spicy, more flavored. So once the shortening's cooled, so I had the shortening off to the side, it's a little bit cooler and you actually do need to cool it down. I tried cheating once and not letting it cool. It accidentally cooked the egg that you add to it. So I'm going to put in the shortening, which is now a liquid. And I'm going to add my molasses and egg. So now that I've got that together, I'm going to mix my dry ingredients together separately and then mix them in. That way I don't end up with like weird spots of the salt or the spice. So I've got my flour, I'm going to mix in my sugar, my salt and baking soda, and my spices. Okay, so now that I've got my dry ingredients and my wet ingredients, I'm going to mix them together. One thing that was recommended in the original recipe was to put this, once it's all mixed together, in the refrigerator for a while. I stopped doing that. I don't think that step is entirely necessary, but it does make the cookies a little thicker. I just like them cooked a little bit more and have them a little bit thinner. People seem to, well, nobody's going to So when you're done mixing it, it should be a fairly solid mass. This is going to be what we're going to make the cookies out of, so it needs to be together so it doesn't just fall apart. Before we put it onto the baking sheet, we need to make sure the baking sheet is greased. And we need a small bowl of sugar because that's going to go on top of the cookies as we put them into the oven. The whole purpose of this is just to dip them. So looking at the recipe, I'm just going to make them into 1-inch spheres. Kind of drop it in, a little bit of sugar, and then I put it on the cookie sheet. Whew. So once you've got all those on the cookie sheet, those can go right into the preheated oven for 7 minutes. And then while that's in the oven, I'm going to try to do the rest of them. onto like a plate or something, so I can just drop them back on and throw that sheet back in the oven. So this is a smaller batch size. The larger one makes about 60. This is all the cookies minus a couple I ate during one of the times I was waiting for a batch to bake. So at this point, you can share them if you're allowed to have people over, but right now I can't, so I'm just gonna, I guess, eat them all. Yep.